Witamy. Dzisiaj film o Bitcoinie. Film o walutach, jakimi teraz się posługujemy. Film o naszej przyszłości niedalekiej i film o tym, jak przejdziemy do tego następnego poziomu życia w sferze cyfrowej, zanim przejdziemy w sferę poza kulę ziemską, poza planetę, gdzieś tam na Księżyc czy na Marsa. Będzie tutaj się wypowiadał Michael Saylor. Ci, co jego nie znają, powinni już znać, jeżeli jesteście w krypto. Człowiek ma łeb na karku, że tak powiem. Widział te zjawiskowe, zmieniające całe życie wszystkich ludzi zjawiska jak komórki, jak internet. Zainwestował w Apple, zainwestował w Microsoft w odpowiednim czasie. I udało mu się odkryć Bitcoina na początku 2020 roku. Zainwestował wszystko, co miał w Bitcoina. No i teraz świetnie przekonuje i tłumaczy, że ludzie mówią, że Bitcoin jest drogi i że tak na dobrą sprawę już za późno jest w inwestowanie w Bitcoina. My się zgadzamy z nim, że nie, bo nadal mamy te zepsute waluty, które przez 8 lat jakbyś trzymał 100 tysięcy złotych, trzymasz, nic nie będziesz z nimi robił przez 8 lat, to 100 tysięcy jest warte prawie zero. Nikt o tym tak nie myśli, bo wszyscy wydajemy te 100 tysięcy, ale naszym zdaniem trzeba mieć plan B. Trzeba mieć plan B i być poza systemem walutowym, poza systemem tak zwanych walut fiat. Trzeba być albo w properties, trzeba być albo w jakiejś złocie, srebrze, albo właśnie w kryptowalutach. Także posłuchajcie sobie, co Michael mówi i polecamy wejść na Lemon Crypto, You're Not Late to Bitcoin. Lemon Crypto to kanał i obejrzeć całość. No niestety po angielsku, ale wiadomo, możecie sobie próbować jakoś przetłumaczyć, jeśli nie znacie angielskiego. Także zobaczcie, początek wam puszczę, a resztę oczywiście możecie zobaczyć sobie na YouTubie, na kanale Lemon Crypto.
If you bought the Bitcoin, you can move that to any city in the world every hour of the day, compose it, decompose it, recompose it, dematerialize it, and when there's a nasty tax on it, you can just move yourself to a different jurisdiction where there's a better tax treatment. And if you think of it like that, then it's a multi-hundred trillion dollar asset class. So at 10 trillion is 500,000, at 100 trillion is 5 million. So I think, we're marching toward $10 trillion, which is, $10 million a coin, which is why Bitcoin and...
10 milionów dolarów za jednego Bitcoina. Tak ważna jest wolność finansowa według Michaela. I oczywiście, jeśli zobaczymy, ile warte są dolary, funty, euro i tak dalej, które są w biliardowych teraz długach, to ma jakiś tam sens. To ma sens. To za 5-10 lat takie coś, co teraz jest niemożliwe, może okazać się coraz to bardziej właśnie możliwe i realistyczne.
Enthusiast see it's just a very great long-term store of value, and it's a great investment idea because it meets the needs of 8 billion people. The average person, the middle-class person that drives an Uber or works as a dentist, they can't buy $387 worth of a building in New York City every month as their savings plan, right? And a person in Africa can't buy a small share of a nice piece of property. They can't buy $127 worth of Picasso painting. So Bitcoin offers property rights at any scale, any amount of money, anybody in the world. And you don't have to worry about, will people like Picassos? Will they still want buildings in Vegas or New York? Will some politician tax it away from me? Well, can I take it through an airport? So if you're looking for an egalitarian, utilitarian way for people to save money and protect their life force or protect their economic wealth for the next 100 years, and you are looking for something that's kind of consistent with the mobile wave, Android phones, iPhones, websites, that's truly global, it's more appealing to people in Nigeria and Argentina than it is appealing to people in Manhattan.
I'm going to get there, right? Because it really is part of creating a world of abundance. It is critically important as a means for that. Mike, I wake up every morning with you and your tweets. I enjoy your tweets. It's definitely, I love this one from a little bit ago. And it was important and prophetic. You said, I thought it was late. You said, I thought I was late to Bitcoin, but apparently not.
Yeah.
And that's one of the important things that I think people need to get. It's not too late to Bitcoin, especially if we had the potential to hit 500,000, $5 million, $10 million of Bitcoin. It's still early in the deceptive phase of its growth.
I thought when Google came public, I was too late. But if you look at the really great successes of our lifetime, Peter, the digital monopolies, the Apple, the Google, the YouTube, the Facebook, these things.
The MicroStrategy.
We thought that we were late to them, but the truth is Google would have been a good idea to invest in, all the way up to like a few months ago. Like,
yeah, no, I was.
It's still getting more powerful, and you think you've fully embraced Google in the year 2018, but Google was going to get more powerful and surge. And if you thought you understood it in 2020, by 2021 it was more powerful. And the same is true with Apple. And Apple and Google, probably more powerful than most nation states. Same with Microsoft. We thought Microsoft, we understood that one, and Microsoft got more powerful in the past 24 months.
I agree. Who would you rather go to war with as your ally? Google or Greece or Ghana or, it's like you'd rather have one of these companies. People think you've been involved in Bitcoin for a decade since, the beginning. Because you've become such a strong, both knowledgeable and protagonist on you. But it wasn't. It was just a few years ago. Can you tell the story of what happened that got you excited and gave you, for lack of a better term, religion on this?
Bitcoin represents a paradigm shift. It's the digital transformation of money, property, and energy. And paradigm shifts are so profound that you're staring at them and you don't realize they took place because your worldview is constructed based upon a bunch of assumptions that you've always taken for granted. And so what Thomas Kuhn says in The Structure of Scientific Revolutions and what we studied at MIT is there's only two circumstances under which people willingly undergo a paradigm shift. And one way is you wait for the old guard to die. And the millennials they get it because they're different. And Einstein, said God does not play dice with the universe. Einstein never liked quantum theory. You could be a brilliant person, but you won't embrace the paradigm shift while you're alive in the absence of a crisis. There's the second way you get paradigm shift is a war. When there's a war and there are bombs dropping from above, you don't believe in atomic power, but then someone drops a nuclear weapon and the city evaporates and all of a sudden you become a believer and you reassess your priorities.
I would posit there's another way, which is when something is 10 times better than anything else. 10 times cheaper, 10 times faster, 10 times better. It's like how I got my mom and dad to go to a digital camera or to use Google or the web, right? It's like, but it's that much better.
Yeah, I will say though, even when it's 10 times better, what you have is a commercially successful venture. But for example, Warren Buffett never invested in Microsoft and Warren Buffett never invested in Amazon, right? Even though it's 10 times better, right? If you have enough money and enough power, you can ignore stuff. My dad didn't use any of the new technology until at some point we gave him a television and YouTube. And YouTube did it. He didn't care about all the other things. But if you can sit and you can talk to the remote and you can stream on YouTube to anything, all of a sudden, 80-year-old man decides he loves this now. And so it has to just click.
Yeah.
Right.
So what clicked for you with Bitcoin? When was it? Was it a March of? Was it?
It's the second quarter of 2020. Okay. The second quarter of 2020, and what clicked was a couple of things. We had a K-shaped recovery. Main Street was shut down. It's pretty, millions of people have lost their jobs. The economy is contracting. And then Wall Street exploded and recovered and hit all-time highs. And what I saw was
6 weeks later, right?
Yeah, financial assets were having the best year ever. People had great years. A lot of these hedge fund managers, they had the best year of their life in 2020 or 2021. Yeah. And Main Street assets were having the worst year in 30 years. And I had a company with $500 million in cash that was dead money. It was idle. It was generating 0% interest. The Federal Reserve said, we're not going to raise interest rates for 4 years. The company's stock was in the tank. At one point, in essence, when we were going through this, our company was valued at $60 a share in cash and $60 a share in the software business. And that was like 1 times revenue. And so, I looked at the world and I said, if the cash is dead money and if our stock is viewed as dead money, we've got a choice between a fast death, a slow death, or we ride out of the castle and we take a risk. The fast death is I just give the $500 million back to the shareholders in a dividend or a buyback. Now, I knew that wasn't going to save the company because I've been buying back the stock for the last 5 years. I bought $300 million worth of stock back or something. And the only thing that would happen would be the stock would go from $120 a share to $60 a share. And then all the stock options, the employees would be underwater. Then all the employees would get headhunted away by Amazon and Google and Facebook, and then we wouldn't be able to compete with Microsoft. And, we compete against a company which has more power than God, right? Microsoft, right? Every company on earth is their customer. They're more powerful than all but about a handful of countries on this earth. And they can do whatever they want, wrap it into their product, give it away for free if they want. So the challenge of giving up the capital was first we'd lose our financial capital, and then we'd lose our human capital, and then we'd have no reason to exist, and the company was going to zero. So notwithstanding whether you care whether a company lives or not, I didn't see it in the interest of my shareholders to watch the stock go to $60 a share and then watch us slide. We'd have to sell the company. So the second strategy is hold the cash, but the cash is, cash trash. Ray Dalio says that, it's generating 0% interest. And the money supply expanded by 20% a year for the past 2 years. You can see it in U.S. single-family homes, which shot up 40% in price. And so if the money's being devalued 20% a year and you're generating 0% interest, you get a negative real yield of minus 20%. And I did the math in my head, and I concluded that pretty much the $500 million in purchasing power would be cut into $250 million of purchasing power in 36 to 48 months. So that's a slow death. I could use cash to pay my employees, but ultimately we were sitting and mired. And so that doesn't work. And so in that situation, we decided we should do something transformational. And, and if you went to a Harvard B School class and corporate strategy said, what are you going to do? The investors want the cash back. You can't generate a yield on the cash. The company needs to grow. Well, the answer is you do a transformational acquisition. So if I could have bought VMware, or if I could have bought WhatsApp, or if I could have bought Snapchat, or if I could buy like a super high growth digital monopoly